You have been eating oatmeal every single morning thinking you are doing something incredible for your heart, your blood sugar, and your weight. But what if the way you are preparing it is quietly working against everything you are trying to protect? What if the bowl sitting in front of you right now is not the health food you think it is? Stay with me because what you are about to learn in the next few minutes will completely change the way you look at your breakfast forever. Here is the uncomfortable truth that no one in the food industry wants you to understand. Oatmeal itself is not the problem. The problem is the 10 specific mistakes that millions of people make every single day while preparing it. Mistakes that destroy its benefits, spike your blood sugar, and slowly damage the very organs you are trying to protect. And the most alarming part is that most of these mistakes look completely innocent. They look healthy. They feel like good choices. That is exactly what makes them so dangerous. Research from leading institutions including Harvard, the American Heart Association, and the British Journal of Nutrition has confirmed that the way a food is prepared, timed, and combined with other ingredients can be just as important as the food itself. The structure, the cooking method, the toppings, the timing, all of it changes how your body responds at the cellular level. And for people over 50, these details are not minor. They are the difference between oatmeal protecting you and oatmeal slowly sabotaging you. Today on Everstrong, we are counting down the 10 oatmeal mistakes ranked from least harmful all the way to the single most damaging error that the majority of people make without ever realizing it. We have ranked these carefully based on the depth of scientific evidence and the scale of harm they cause over time. And I promise you by the time we reach number 1, you will never look at a bowl of oatmeal the same way again. Before we begin, I want to ask you something directly, and I genuinely want you to answer this in the comments below. How old are you and what exactly do you put in your oatmeal every single morning? Be as specific as you can. I personally read through your responses because your routine might be the very thing that helps someone else avoid a serious health mistake. Now let us start the countdown with mistake number 10, and it begins with something almost nobody thinks about when they reach for that pot or that bowl. Mistake number 10 is eating oatmeal too late at night, and most people never give a single thought to the timing of their oatmeal consumption, which is a significant oversight because the research on this is surprisingly clear. When you consume oatmeal within 2 to 3 hours of going to sleep, your body handles those carbohydrates in a fundamentally different way than it does earlier in the day. A study published in the journal Obesity found that late-night carbohydrate consumption triggers significantly higher insulin responses compared to the exact same meal eaten in the morning. And that elevated insulin circulating through your bloodstream while you sleep directly interferes with growth hormone production, which is the hormone your body releases during deep sleep to repair tissues, rebuild muscle, and burn stored fat. Your metabolism naturally decelerates as the evening progresses because your body is preparing to rest, not to process a complex carbohydrate meal. That bowl of oatmeal that would have provided you with beautiful sustained energy at breakfast instead becomes a sluggish mass sitting in your digestive system, causing bloating, disrupted sleep cycles, and elevated blood sugar readings the following morning. Researchers at the University of Pennsylvania demonstrated that participants who consumed the majority of their carbohydrates later in the day gained more weight and showed significantly worse metabolic markers than those who ate the same total calories but concentrated them in the earlier hours. The fix here is genuinely simple. Enjoy your oatmeal in the morning or at lunch when your insulin sensitivity is at its natural peak and your digestive system is fully prepared to extract every benefit from those oats. If evening oatmeal is truly unavoidable for your schedule, keep the portion small, add generous protein and healthy fat to slow glucose absorption, and make sure you finish eating at least 3 hours before you sleep. This one-timing adjustment costs you nothing and protects your metabolism every single night. But the next mistake is something far more people are getting wrong every single morning, and the packaging is specifically designed to keep you from noticing. Mistake number 9 is choosing flavored instant oatmeal packets. And this is one of the most widespread nutritional deceptions hiding in the breakfast aisle of every grocery store in the country. Those brightly colored boxes promising maple brown sugar, strawberries and cream, peaches and cream, and cinnamon spice are not health foods. They are sugar delivery systems hiding behind oatmeal's well-earned reputation. These flavored instant packets typically contain between 12 and 16 grams of added sugar per single serving, which means before you add a single topping, you are starting your day with the sugar equivalent of eating several cookies at breakfast. A study published in JAMA Internal Medicine found that people who consumed more than 25% of their daily calories from added sugar had nearly triple the cardiovascular disease mortality risk compared to those who kept added sugar below 10%. Beyond the sugar, the oats in these packets have been rolled so thin and pre-cooked so aggressively that their physical structure is almost completely destroyed, causing them to digest at a speed that research published in the British Journal of Nutrition confirmed can rival the glycemic impact of white bread. They also contain artificial flavors, preservatives, sodium, and in some cases partially hydrogenated oils, which the World Health Organization has called for complete global elimination of due to their cardiovascular damage. The solution is simple and actually saves you money. Buy plain whole rolled oats or steel-cut oats and flavor them yourself with fresh berries, a sliced banana, a light drizzle of raw honey, and a generous sprinkle of cinnamon, which research from the American Diabetes Association has confirmed has genuine blood sugar lowering properties of its own. You control every ingredient, you know exactly what you are consuming, and you get dramatically more nutritional value from every bite. But avoiding those packets is just the beginning, because mistake number 8 involves a choice you are probably making every single morning without giving it a second thought. Mistake number 8 is cooking your oatmeal in plain water and nothing else, and while water is not harmful, choosing it as your only cooking liquid means you are missing one of the simplest opportunities to multiply the nutritional power of your entire meal. When you cook oatmeal in water alone, you get fiber and carbohydrates, but the meal remains relatively low in protein and healthy fat, which leads most people to then overcompensate by dumping excessive sugar or syrup on top just to make it taste acceptable. Research published in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition demonstrated that meals with higher protein content produce significantly greater feelings of fullness and reduce calorie intake at subsequent meals by as much as 12%. Simply swapping plain water for dairy milk or unsweetened soy milk can boost your protein content by 8 to 12 grams without any additional effort whatsoever. A study from the Journal of Food Science and Technology found that the combination of oat beta-glucan fiber with dairy protein created a synergistic cholesterol-lowering effect that was greater than either component achieved independently, meaning the nutritional benefits actually multiply when you make this one small change. Another excellent approach is to stir in a scoop of collagen peptides or your preferred protein powder after cooking, which dissolves seamlessly and can push your protein content to 20 or even 30 grams per bowl, transforming it from a primarily carbohydrate meal into a genuinely balanced breakfast. The liquid you cook in sets the entire foundation of your meal. Get this right and everything that follows becomes more effective. But the next mistake involves a cooking method that is damaging the most valuable compound inside your oatmeal before it ever reaches your body. Mistake number 7 is microwaving your oatmeal at full power, and millions of people do exactly this every single morning without realizing the cost. Beta-glucan, the specific soluble fiber that gives oatmeal its remarkable ability to lower LDL cholesterol and regulate blood sugar, is sensitive to aggressive rapid heating. Research published in the Journal of Cereal Science showed that extreme thermal processing reduces the viscosity and functional properties of beta-glucan, meaning it becomes measurably less effective at forming the gel-like substance in your gut that traps cholesterol and slows glucose absorption. Full-power microwaving also creates dangerous hot spots where certain areas of your bowl reach temperatures well above boiling while other areas remain cool. And these superheated zones degrade heat-sensitive B vitamins, including thiamine and folate, which are essential for energy metabolism and cellular repair. A study in food chemistry confirmed that gentler cooking methods consistently preserve higher levels of antioxidant compounds in whole grains. And since oats contain unique antioxidants called avenanthramides with powerful anti-inflammatory properties found in virtually no other food, protecting these compounds during cooking is genuinely important for anyone eating oatmeal for its health benefits. The ideal method is stovetop cooking over medium-low heat with occasional stirring over 5 to 7 minutes for rolled oats. If you must use a microwave, set it to 50 or 60% power, cook for a longer duration, and stir halfway through to eliminate those damaging hot spots. This small adjustment preserves the very compounds that make oatmeal worth eating in the first place. And speaking of missing compounds, the next mistake is about an ingredient most people never even think to add. Mistake number 6 is preparing your oatmeal with zero healthy fat, and this well-intentioned low-fat approach actually backfires in multiple ways that most people never discover. Oats contain important fat-soluble nutrients, including vitamin E and various carotenoid compounds that your body simply cannot absorb without the presence of dietary fat in the same meal. Research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition demonstrated that adding a healthy fat source to a carbohydrate-rich meal significantly reduces the glycemic response, meaning your blood sugar rises more gradually and gently rather than spiking sharply upward. For anyone focused on diabetes prevention or weight management, this is not a minor detail. It is a critical finding that applies to your breakfast every single morning. A study from the Journal of Nutrition found that meals combining complex carbohydrates with monounsaturated or polyunsaturated fats produce longer-lasting satiety signals in the brain, meaning you feel genuinely full for a significantly extended period and are far less likely to reach for unhealthy snacks before lunch. The easiest ways to add healthy fat include a tablespoon of natural almond or peanut butter, a small handful of walnuts, which also deliver anti-inflammatory omega-3 fatty acids, a sprinkle of ground flaxseed, which adds fiber simultaneously, or a small drizzle of extra virgin coconut oil. These fats transform your oatmeal from a meal that leaves you hungry 90 minutes later into one that sustains you comfortably for 4 to 5 hours while improving nutrient absorption and keeping your blood sugar beautifully stable. Fat is essential, but the next missing ingredient may do even more damage to your long-term health. Mistake number 5 is skipping protein entirely from your bowl. And if your oatmeal contains nothing but oats, liquid, and perhaps some fruit, you are creating a problem that affects your muscle mass, your metabolism, and your ability to control hunger for the rest of the day. A standard serving of oatmeal provides only about 5 to 6 grams of protein, which research from the Journal of the International Society of Sports Nutrition has established is nowhere near the 20 to 30 grams needed to meaningfully stimulate muscle protein synthesis. Without adequate protein at breakfast, your body may actually begin breaking down existing muscle tissue to supply the amino acids it needs for essential daily functions. A study in the American Journal of Physiology confirmed that evenly distributing protein across all meals produced significantly better muscle maintenance outcomes than concentrating most protein at dinner, which is exactly what most people do. The blood sugar benefit is equally important because protein slows gastric emptying, which reduces the rate at which glucose enters your bloodstream and creates a much flatter, healthier blood sugar curve after your meal. Excellent ways to add protein include a scoop of whey or plant-based protein powder, cracking an egg into the oats during the final minute of cooking, which creates a wonderfully creamy texture, adding a generous dollop of Greek yogurt on top for 12 to 15 additional grams, or mixing in hemp seeds, which provide a complete amino acid profile. This single addition transforms your oatmeal into a breakfast that supports lean muscle, controls appetite hormones, and sustains your energy cleanly through the entire morning. But the next mistake on our list silently undermines your nutrient absorption in ways that science is only now fully appreciating. Mistake number 4 is never soaking your oats, and most people have genuinely never heard of this issue, yet it has a profound impact on how much nutrition your body actually extracts from every bowl. Oats, like all grains, contain a compound called phytic acid, sometimes called an anti-nutrient, which binds tightly to essential minerals including iron, zinc, magnesium, and calcium, forming complexes that your digestive system cannot break apart and absorb. Research published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry found that phytic acid in unsoaked grains can reduce mineral absorption by anywhere from 20 to 80% depending on the specific mineral. This means you could be eating an apparently nutritious breakfast while your body is only accessing a fraction of those minerals every single morning. The solution that traditional cultures around the world have understood for centuries is remarkably simple. Soak your oats in water with a small splash of something acidic like apple cider vinegar, lemon juice, or yogurt for 7 to 12 hours before cooking. This activates naturally occurring enzymes called phytases that neutralize the phytic acid and release those trapped minerals so your body can fully use them. A study from the British Journal of Nutrition confirmed that overnight soaking significantly reduced phytic acid content and correspondingly improved mineral bioavailability in human subjects. The practical approach takes 30 seconds the night before. Place your oats in a bowl, cover with your liquid of choice, add a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar, cover loosely, and leave overnight. In the morning, eat them cold as overnight oats or warm them gently on the stovetop. This one habit unlocks minerals your bones, immune system, and hundreds of enzymatic processes throughout your body genuinely need every single day. But the next mistake is one that sabotages your health far beyond mineral absorption, and it is hiding in plain sight in almost every kitchen. Mistake number 3 is adding far too much sweetener to your bowl. And this is the mistake that almost everyone watching right now is making without realizing the true scale of the damage. Studies show that the average person adds between 2 and 4 tablespoons of sugar, honey, maple syrup, or brown sugar to their oatmeal, contributing 20 to 50 additional grams of sugar to a meal that is supposed to be one of the most protective choices in your diet. A landmark study published in the journal Circulation by the American Heart Association linked excessive added sugar intake directly to increased risk of heart disease, fatty liver disease, and chronic systemic inflammation that accelerates cellular aging throughout your entire body. What makes this particularly destructive is the metabolic paradox it creates. Oatmeal contains beta-glucan fiber specifically designed to slow glucose absorption and stabilize blood sugar. But when you pour a large load of sweetener on top, you completely overwhelm that protective mechanism and create a blood sugar spike that research in diabetes care showed can be just as dramatic as eating a bowl of sugary breakfast cereal. This daily spike triggers excessive insulin production and over time drives the body toward insulin resistance, which is the direct precursor to type 2 diabetes and is strongly associated with increased abdominal fat, elevated triglycerides, and heightened cardiovascular risk. The path forward involves gradually retraining your palate. Cut your current sweetener amount in half this week and replace that sweetness with ripe mashed banana for natural sweetness and added potassium, fresh or frozen berries for antioxidants and vitamins, or a generous sprinkle of cinnamon which activates sweet taste receptors without adding any sugar at all. Within 2 to 3 weeks, your taste buds genuinely recalibrate and you begin to taste the natural subtle sweetness of the oats themselves for the very first time. Make this change and you will protect your heart, your insulin sensitivity, and your weight all at once. But number 2 is even more widespread, and the science behind it is something that will genuinely surprise you. Mistake number 2 is eating a dangerously oversized portion every morning. And almost nobody measures their oatmeal because the assumption is that since oatmeal is healthy, more must be better. That logic is flawed and the research makes this very clear. A standard recommended serving is half a cup of dry oats, providing roughly 150 calories and 27 grams of carbohydrates. But most people pour 1 to 1.5 cups into their pot without measuring, consuming 300 to 450 calories and up to 80 grams of carbohydrates from the oats alone before adding a single topping. Research from the Journal of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics found that people consistently underestimate their portion sizes by 30 to 50%, meaning the actual problem is likely even worse than most realize. A study published in The Lancet demonstrated that even with foods that have a moderate glycemic index like oatmeal, consuming a large portion dramatically increases the total glycemic load of the meal, which determines how significantly your blood sugar rises and how large an insulin response is triggered. Once you add milk, sweetener, nuts, fruit, and nut butter to an already oversized base, a single breakfast bowl can easily reach 600 to 800 calories, which for many people represents nearly half their entire daily calorie requirement in one sitting. The solution requires only a small amount of discipline. Use an actual measuring cup or a kitchen scale and commit to half a cup or at most 3/4 of a cup as your oat base. Build on that foundation with protein and healthy fat that add nutritional value without excessive carbohydrate load. You will feel just as satisfied as you did with the giant bowl, but without the bloating, the energy crash, or the silent calorie accumulation that was contributing to weight gain month after month. Now we have arrived at the moment this entire countdown has been building toward, and what I am about to tell you is the single most important thing you will hear about oatmeal today. Mistake number 1, the most damaging mistake of all, is choosing instant oats over steel cut or whole rolled oats. And the science behind why this matters so profoundly is something every single person who eats oatmeal for their health absolutely must understand. Instant oats have been pre-cooked, dried, and either rolled into extremely thin flakes or chopped into fine pieces during industrial manufacturing. This aggressive processing essentially pre-digests the oat for you, destroying the intact cellular structure that is responsible for nearly every health benefit oatmeal has ever been celebrated for. A groundbreaking study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that instant oats produced a glycemic response 40 to 60% higher than the same quantity of steel-cut or thick-rolled oats. placing them in the same blood sugar impact category as many refined grain products that nutrition experts universally advise people to avoid. The critical difference comes down to what scientists call the food matrix, which refers to the physical structure of a food and how that structure controls the speed at which digestive enzymes can access and break down the starches inside. When that matrix is destroyed through industrial processing, starches become immediately and rapidly available, flooding your bloodstream with glucose and triggering a massive insulin response that research from the Endocrine Society has directly linked to increased hunger, greater fat storage particularly around the abdominal organs, and accelerated progression toward insulin resistance and metabolic syndrome over years of repeated daily consumption. A 20-year longitudinal study published in the British Medical Journal tracking tens of thousands of participants found that those who consumed intact whole grains with preserved cellular structure had significantly lower rates of cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, and all-cause mortality compared to those consuming the same grains in highly processed forms. Steel-cut oats, which are simply whole oat groats chopped into 2 or 3 pieces with a steel blade, retain most of their original cellular structure and digest slowly and steadily over several hours, providing sustained energy, prolonged satiety, and a gentle blood sugar curve that keeps insulin levels low and stable throughout the morning. Thick rolled oats are the next best option as they are steamed and flattened but still retain much of their structural integrity. Both varieties also preserve significantly higher levels of beta-glucan in its most functionally active form, the specific fiber for which the Food and Drug Administration has approved official health claims regarding cholesterol reduction and heart disease risk. Yes, steel-cut oats require 20 to 30 minutes of stovetop cooking, but you can prepare a large batch on the weekend and simply reheat portions throughout the week in under 2 minutes. Or use the overnight soaking method from mistake number 4 and wake up to oats that require zero cooking at all. This one single change, swapping instant oats for steel-cut or whole rolled oats, will do more for your metabolic health, your cholesterol, your blood sugar, and your long-term protection against cardiovascular disease than almost any other dietary adjustment you could make this year. Now let us bring this all together, because when you fix all 10 of these mistakes simultaneously, something remarkable begins to happen. Your blood sugar stabilizes, your cholesterol improves, your energy holds steady through the entire morning without crashing, your muscle mass is better protected as you age, your mineral absorption increases substantially, your hunger and cravings come under real control, and the food you have been eating every morning becomes what it was always meant to be, a genuine superfood that actively protects your heart, your metabolism, and your long-term vitality every single day. Here at Everstrong, we believe that it is never too late to change the trajectory of your health. The research is clear, the steps are simple, and the results for people who make these changes are real and measurable. You do not need expensive supplements or complicated programs. You just need the right information and the willingness to act on it one meal at a time. And the fact that you watched this entire video tells us everything about who you are. You are someone who takes their health seriously, and that quality alone puts you ahead of the majority. If this video helped you see your morning routine differently, please hit the like button right now so that this information reaches more people who need it. Subscribe to Everstrong and turn on notifications so you never miss a video that could genuinely change your health. And most importantly, drop your answer in the comments below. Tell us your age and exactly what goes into your oatmeal bowl every morning. Your answer might be the thing that saves someone else from years of silent damage. We read every single comment and we respond because this community is built on real conversations, not just content. Thank you so much for being here and for trusting Everstrong with your health. We will see you in the next one.